Okay, this is a reaction video. This is from Passport 2. Please click like, share, and subscribe for them, as well as like, share, and subscribe for me right down there. I would appreciate it. How Germans don't fit into American stereotypes of Germans. Okay, let's find out.
Are Germans all that you imagine them to be, or something totally different? Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I am Donnie, and along with my wife Aubrey, we are two Americans currently living in Germany with our baby, sharing all of our experiences living and traveling throughout Europe. We've done multiple videos debunking classic stereotypes Americans hold of Germans, in particular the one stereotype that Germans hate the most of all, at least those that live outside of Bavaria, and that is that all of Germany wears
lederhosen, beer, and eats sausage. Those are typical American stereotypes of Germans.
And eats white sausages and drinks large beers by the liter. However, today I want to go after a few other stereotypes that Americans have of Germans and prove them wrong with specific examples of behaviors that we've observed Germans do during our 3 years of living in Germany. So that's exactly what I'm going to talk about today in our video. Those beliefs about Germans are about as real as mermans. This is another type of video where I like to first give the disclaimer that we are originally from a state in the southern U.S.
They're from Oklahoma, and they live outside of Frankfurt, Germany.
Called Oklahoma, and now live in the southwestern German state of Rhineland-Pfalz. So just like you can't paint the entire nation as the lederhosen wearing Bavarians, it is really hard to paint the entire nation with any one single general stereotype because of how diverse this country is. Therefore, my personal experience with these things may vary from yours, so let me know your thoughts on all of these stereotypes in the comments below. And with that, this first stereotype is...
You know, when I was in Germany, I did not see a whole lot of white sausage. I did not see anybody wearing lederhosen, and I did see people drinking large mugs of beer. I did see that. So one of the three actually fits.
Actually a great example of something that truly may vary greatly across Germany, and that is disproving the stereotype that Germans are generally very cold, harsh, and one not even...
No, they were not cold, harsh, or anything like that. The Germans that I encountered were very friendly and very open and very honest. I mean, very wonderful people. I really enjoyed being there.
And say rude. So this stereotype is a funny one because honestly the definition of friendly is so different between Germans and Americans that comparing if Germans are friendly based on American standards of friendliness or Germans comparing how friendly Americans are based on a German standard really makes no sense at all. In fact, even within these two countries, being friendly in the Midwest or southern US states is fairly different from what it means to be friendly in the North.
Well, yeah, in New York City, New York City is a place where people aren't really that friendly to, or at least they don't have a reputation of being too friendly. Although I have experienced that they were actually pretty friendly in New York City, but they have a reputation of not being very friendly.
North or the East. The same is actually true for Germany as well. And in fact, I would like for our German audience to let us know in the comments where you believe you find the friendliest people in Germany. And sure, there may be some fundamental details of what being a friendly human may mean, but it's the nuances between the very generalized and overarching cultures of each country that makes what it means to be friendly surprisingly different. So if I'm going to go based on my personal experience and my Southern American definition of being friendly, not this Southern American, this Southern American,
yeah, South America versus Southern America. Yeah, USA. Got it.
We have been very surprised at how warm and friendly Germans actually are compared to...
And they were always friendly with me as well. They're I don't know if they wanted to put on a good face because it was there in the World Cup in 2006, but they were very friendly people. There was one you had one when I was at a bookstore where the woman who was behind the counter was looking at me like I was some kind of crazy evil person or something like that. But really, for the most part, she was didn't have a whole lot of that.
To what we are often led to believe based on stereotypes. We've been invited over to various Germans' homes where they bring out the red carpet and treat us to amazing food. We have elderly couples that live around us that are constantly bringing us cinnamon rolls, German wine, or even plants for our garden. But maybe they're just telling us that they don't like how our house looks and are trying to take over the landscaping for us. Also, when we had our
Yeah, that's one way to look at it, but another way, they're just very friendly people, too.
baby, all of our neighbors, some that we had never even talked to before, brought us over gifts and clothes for our little guy. I also can't tell you how many elderly Germans we've had tell us that they can be our Oma and Opa over here because they know we are so far away from our families and who try to look out for us. Have I had my fill of interactions with Germans in which I don't know if they like me or not because they don't maybe as openly show it as I would expect an American would? Sure, but just because a German sometimes may not smile as much as an American, does that make them less friendly? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Personal opinion, Germans get more of a bad rap about not being friendly than I have found in my reality in Germany for the most part. Well, unless I just haven't been to the mean parts of Germany yet.
Yeah, what are the mean parts of Germany? Because like I said, I was in Frankfurt, I was in Kaiserslautern a couple times, I was in Cologne, I was in Gelsenkirchen, I was in Berlin, and they were all very friendly to me.
3 quick things. 1, a reminder, links to our brand new merch shop are in the description below. 2, a huge shout out to our patrons for their continued amazing support. Seriously, you guys truly are amazing. And 3, please hit that like and subscribe button, but now let's move on. When I was in some of
Yeah, please click like, share, and subscribe for me as well as for Passport 2. Click down there. I would appreciate it.
my business classes during college, we would talk about doing business internationally and how important it was to recognize other cultures you may be working with and ensuring that you don't offend the other party. One thing that was brought up was, of course, how you should never be late to anything when working with Germans because of how punctual Germans are.
Yeah, that's another thing about Germans. I mean, Germans are generally considered punctual and their trains always run on time and so forth.
Also a super classic stereotype of Germans that I think everybody is well aware of, and because of that, when we moved to Germany, I would not only show up on time to everything that I could, but I would try and show up early to show Germans that I was interacting with that.
Now, that's something I do on a regular basis. Okay, I generally, like when I show up for work, I generally show up at least 15 minutes early, so I'm ready to get everything going and start from right from the moment I get there. So from when it's time to work, so I try and get there as early as possible, and then maybe that's because I have some German in me. Maybe that's what I get it from. I don't know.
I was respecting their culture, if you can't tell from that statement. As much as I wish I was always punctual, Aubrey and I are well aware that we are usually late to everything. However, I wouldn't say that Germans are as strict about being punctual as I originally thought they would be. Although, sure, they generally are quite punctual people. One glaring exception to this stereotype, and maybe our German viewers can chime in now and see if they can guess what it is before I say it. DB. Oh, did I say that too fast before you could type your guess in the comments? Yes, Deutsche Bahn. The German train system, although it can be amazing and we love traveling by train, it can often have delays and
Now, when I was there in Germany, the train ran on time. It was amazing how the trains ran on time. Maybe that was just during the World Cup. I don't know. But the trains really ran on time, and it was really punctual. But he's telling me something different.
Cancellations, and is not at all the punctual system that you would expect based on the German stereotype of punctuality. Now, of course, there are other train systems in the world that may be considered worse than DB, and in fact, the US doesn't really even have one, and maybe I'm slightly exaggerating this in your opinion, but a great example of the problem with DB is on another YouTube channel that I love to watch, Jet Lag, the game. This channel just wrapped up a series where players were playing tag across Europe and taking trains throughout Europe without any problems. In episode 6, however, the players suddenly arrive in Germany and start using DB, and guess what happens? Delays, canceled trains, and when you scroll through the comments, you see this is a very obvious problem well known in Germany, and this is then carried over into the finale episode as well. I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but you definitely need to go check out this channel, and the link will be in the description. Deutsche Bahn.
Well, again, like I said, I didn't have any trouble, but in Germany, I guess I was wrong. I mean, I always thought that in Germany the trains ran on time, everything was perfect and ran very punctual, but apparently I'm wrong.
Also monthly updates data on their website that shows the punctuality of their trains, in which they define a train being on time if the scheduled arrival time was exceeded by less than 6 or 16 minutes. The lowest point of train punctuality in Germany so far this year was in August, when only 56.8% of DB long-distance trains arrived on time based on the 5-minute delay allowance, and only 76.8% of trains arrived on time based on the 15-minute delay allowance. I will give credit where credit is.
Wow, that is amazing. That is, like I said, in Germany, the trains ran absolutely on time when I was there.
DB regional trains perform significantly better. Just overall, not the always punctual and timely stereotype one might expect of a German train system. However, maybe they do this just in case YouTubers are filming a game show on their trains and they're just trying to increase the excitement.
That may be so, but I doubt it. I don't think they knew they were going to be there that day unless they made an announcement and the German said, hey, let's screw with these guys. I don't think that happened.
Germans are famous for being rule followers and stern with those that don't follow them, or so the stereotype would have you believe. I mean, as an example, we've talked many times about Germans standing at a crosswalk with a red light and not crossing, even if there are no cars, and then giving the old "Bei Rot musst du stehen" rhyme to anybody that dares to run across the street before the green. And
yeah, that is something that is different. Now, I didn't have a whole lot of that in Frankfurt when I was there about, crossing whenever, because there was other ways to get across the street. But yeah, that is something that I've heard about in Germany, that they're very adamant about not crossing until it's green. Because in the United States, if it's red and there's no cars coming, you want to cross and not think anything of it. We do it all the time. But in Germany, they get on your case about that.
In my experience living here, yes, this rule-following stereotype generally is very true, with one glaring exception that have shocked many Americans visiting Germany that is also causing the demise and destruction of German cities: Wildpinkeln. The Washington Post once wrote, "Public urination is quite..."
Public urination, that is... that's something you don't see a lot of in the United States.
Quite common in Germany, which is why police authorities rarely take action against such behavior, as you would know if you've ever been to Munich's Oktoberfest. Usually, authorities can punish public urinators with a fine of about $35, but local laws vary. Now, of course, Americans don't always hold it in until they are able to get to a toilet, but there is a noticeable difference in the rate.
Now, there is something about, because in the United States, when you have to go to the John or to use the bathroom, sometimes you go into a restaurant or something like that, like a McDonald's that's close by, and use the restroom, use the facilities there. I remember when I was in New York City, I went to go to the bathroom. A guy, who was the counter, said, "Hey, you gonna buy?" I said, "I don't want to buy something on the way out." Obviously, when I got out, he was already helping us with the customer, so I was able to sneak by and not have to buy anything. But yeah, I certainly wasn't going to whip it out and start urinating right in the middle of the street there. That wasn't going to happen.
That we've seen Germans who pee in public than what we are used to in the US. And to be fair to Germany, unfortunately, it does seem that a staple to large cities around the world is the smell of urine in corners and alleys. However, like the Washington...
Now, that was another thing when when I was in Frankfurt, when I was staying in the Meridian Hotel, when we went around the corner there and went down, there was like a staircase that you went down, and you go underneath the street, get to the train station, get to the papers and things like that. Well, when I did that, I knew to walk on the left-hand side on the way down and come back on the right-hand side on the way back up, because on the other side, on the right-hand side going down, that's where the smell of urination was. People would be peeing over there, just peeing right there. And so that I do understand. That is true.
Washington Post article alluded to, and based on our personal experience, when we go on a road trip, one thing that we always see is going to be people peeing on the side of the road at rest stops rather than holding it in until a toilet, or even in our small town where toilets are not far and are readily available, we've seen plenty of men taking a leak in a bush or in a place that we would never have expected it to happen. And in fact, this is a problem that is literally eroding away important landmarks in Germany, as the Stuttgarter Zeitung gives evidence of in an article where they talked about damage caused to the world-famous Ulmer Münster caused by public urination. It's not the wind or the pollutants in the city air that cause this, it's the so-called wild urinators, as they are found in all cities. But they don't damage the world's highest church as they do in Ulm. So it's not just a random person here or there that publicly urinates, but enough people where they actually have significant, measurable damage done to an extremely important historical German monument that now requires lots of money invested to repair, all because of pee. And this isn't the first or only landmark in Germany where we have seen signs or ways of trying to discourage this behavior. For example, in the St. Pauli neighborhood in Hamburg, a community group has applied a special water-repellent paint to the walls of certain buildings that sprays liquid back in the direction it came from.
So if you pee against that wall, it pees right back at you. It gets right back on you. That is different. I mean, again, that's not a problem you have in the United States.
Overall, with public urination being against the law and with as neat and orderly Germans are often perceived to be, it is surprising to see that this actually is this noticeable as something that happens in Germany, at least compared to what we are used to seeing in the US. Speaking of the orderly and organized perception of Germans, there is one thing that isn't against the rules at all and is totally acceptable, but it has just always felt very non-German to us, and that is buying sodas at grocery stores. Well, not actually the buying of soda, but physically how.
Yeah, that's something you can buy at all grocery stores in the United States. Coke, Pepsi, Sprite, Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper. You can buy it all at stores.
Buying of soda is done in Germany. In the US, you will find essentially the exact same things as you will find in Germany. Packs of bottles shrink wrapped in plastic. However, the purpose of that shrink wrap seems to be completely different in the two countries. In the US, the shrink wrap shows that those bottles are being sold in a pack and you must buy the entire pack. If you want a single bottle, you must get that from a different section or shelf where single.
Yeah, the way that works is if you go back into the area where the Coke is, where you pick that up, you put it in your. But if you want just a single, you go up to where the register is. Usually they have like refrigerators there. You can buy singles. That's how you do that.
Bottles are displayed. However, in Germany, Germans do the very aggressive act of ripping the bottles out of the pack, as the shrink wrap is not intended to get you to buy the entire pack, but I guess it's simply just for transportation methods or maybe to make it easier to buy and carry more.
Yeah, that is something, because like I said, in the United States, if you want to buy just a single Coke, a bottle of Coke, you just go up to the cash register. There's usually a refrigerator up there which has Cokes or Sprites, things like that. You just buy them off there. They get them cold and you can drink them right there. But apparently in Germany it's different. You go right to the back, just take them out, because that's not how it's supposed to work.
Multiple bottles if you want it. I'm not really entirely sure of the purpose in Germany of the shrink wrap, but it clearly seems different than that in the US because of how you find these packages with bottles often missing in German grocery stores. Occasionally in the US, you will find a bottle ripped out of the pack as well, but it's super annoying to do that for the store because now the, for example, 6-pack is a 5-pack and can't really be sold as the 6-pack anymore. And it's annoying for customers who want to buy a 6-pack, but you have this ripped open package.
I used to work in a grocery store where what would happen is, like the coffee, like the Starbucks 4-pack coffee, you'd have people take them and mix and match and do it and that would be a problem because people want 4-pack of one, and the foreign people would mix and match them, and it wasn't the Americans. The Americans would complain about it, but the foreign people would mix and match and take things out. It would be a problem.
Missing a bottle, so you can't get that one anymore. To an American, it feels like the equivalent of somebody opening a bag of crackers in the cracker aisle, taking a few crackers out of the bag, and then putting that bag back on the shelf just a few crackers short. And also,
yeah, that's exactly what it feels like in the United States.
So it could just be a weird personal OCD problem that I have, but I personally am surprised that Germans do it this way just because it leaves the shelves looking like a disheveled mess, kind of, with ripped open plastic packages all over them, rather than neat and tidy packages waiting.
The other thing is that the UPC code on the side, if you were to take one of those, like one of those 6-packs, one of those Coke bottles, make it a 5-pack instead of a 6-pack, and rig it out, it would think that you're buying not one, it'd think you'd be buying the whole pack, so it would charge you for the whole pack too.
to be grabbed fully intact. So partially because of what we were used to in the US, and possibly partially because of the perceived notion that Germans are orderly, neat, tidy, and rule following, when we moved here, this just felt completely unlike Germans and still feels slightly wrong to rip a bottle out of these packages. Most of the time when I do it, I kind of am anticipating getting scolded at the checkout counter for doing so and not taking the whole pack, but this is just a unique cultural difference we didn't expect to find when we moved here initially. Real quick, you guys need to go check out the web series The Land. This is a new campaign done by the state of Baden-Württemberg to help promote the state and show off its incredible opportunities to work and live there, along with how just dang beautiful the state is. They are launching the campaign with a hell is going out or staying in on a Friday night. Which do you prefer? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
I prefer staying in.
And we will see you in our next video.
Okay, this was Passport to How Germans Don't Fit into American Stereotypes of Germans. Please click like, share, and subscribe for Passport 2 as well as right down there for me. I would appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.